So I just wanted to talk quickly about something which I think is neglected when people talk about practicing time, and that's the placement of your upbeats. So I think most of us, when we go to a guitar lesson and we're told that our time sucks, which happened to me a few years back, and I think happens to a lot of people. Generally, the sort of main advice seems to be to put the metronome on 2 and 4 like this: 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Practice with that. So that's fine. The problem with that is, first of all, there's some people who say you shouldn't practice with the metronome at all, and I can have some sympathy with that viewpoint. Jazz is not a metronomic music. It's very fluxy, and it can slow down and speed up. Some of the classic recordings tend to speed up. Miles Davis, for instance, Wes Montgomery tends to slow down. So there's a lot to be said for not thinking metronomically. However, I think that if you transcribe and you listen to records and you work things out by ear, that can massively help with your sense of rhythm. I know it's helped me. But playing with experienced drummers as well, playing with really good rhythm sections is important too. But the only thing is that those really good rhythm sections might be accommodating you, or you might be leaning on them, and that can be good. It can be a good way to learn. But I think there is something to be said for a more technical approach that diagnoses specific problems. And I think one problem a lot of people have is the sense of the upbeat certainly from a background similar to mine. I didn't grow up in an environment with a huge amount of syncopated music. Perhaps if you grew up in Brazil or Cuba or the Caribbean or somewhere, you might have more of a sense of that. But certainly a lot of classical music, for instance, is very much about the beat. Brad Meldau says that the difference between somebody like Brahms, who's a classical composer, a European composer who uses a lot of syncopation and interesting rhythm, is different from Charlie Parker, because Charlie Parker views the upbeat and the downbeat as having absolute parity. They are as important as each other, whereas in Brahms, the syncopation is a special effect. It's a deviation from the norm. So because of that, we have to get better at perceiving upbeats, and there's various exercises for that. I've talked about upbeats elsewhere in other videos, but this is just a very simple one that works well, and it's to do with your physical coordination and perception of the upbeat. So, starts like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Can you do that? So I'm just tapping my pencil on the numbers. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay. The next step is to tap the pencil on the ands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay. And now that's quite tricky for a lot of people. So I'll do that again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay. That's just to place your upbeats right. And do a bar of each. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Once you're comfortable with that, remove the ands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay? Right, the next physical coordination thing is we're going to put it into half time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, like that, right? Okay. So now we're going to take out the ands. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, stay on the upbeats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's physical coordination thing. To do that quickly, 1, 2, 3, 4 is obviously harder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so that's kind of the coordination side of it, right? Okay, next step. Listen to this. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. Okay, if you found yourself moving that number, the 1, 2, 3, 4, the pulse, over onto 1, 2, 3, 4, then it's an indication that your perception of the upbeat needs work, right? So I think this coordination exercise is a really good way to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. What I should say is that actually the coordination side of it can take quite a while to get together. Okay. This isn't necessarily easy. This is like kind of reprogramming your body a bit, and especially for somebody like me, it takes ages to learn anything. It can take months and months to learn this stuff. So please don't feel that, you know, you're stupid for not being able to do it. It takes time, but this is valuable work, as important as any scales or anything you might ever play on the guitar. Okay, if you do want to work with the metronome, this is one way you could work with it. So I'm going to set the metronome to 60 beats a minute, and I set it on the ands of 1 and 3. 1, 2, 4. Let's start it straight. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try that again. Notice how I sped up slightly there, and then the click was slightly out of alignment, right, for instance. I don't know why it's harder slower, but it is sometimes. Now, this is nice, but the nice thing about the first phrase, listen. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because you start with the click being in between your notes, and they end up with the click on it. So that's great stuff. That's really useful. Just setting the click on the offbeat is enough of to muck around with your head to start off with. However, you can also, of course, swing the upbeat. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm still not totally happy with that. There's some slippage that maybe you can hear, so it's good exercise. Right, so you can do that now. I can speed this up to like maybe about 80 beats a minute, and then we can use it in half time. So in this case, I'm going to set each click to the last 16th note. Straight click, right? Ah. So hopefully you can hear that, you know, I'm not perfect at this, and this is something that I'm working on myself, but I would definitely say it's helped. Okay. Just getting those upbeats really consistent will do a lot to help you feel the space between the beats and play more groovingly, because even though you might not be playing with a click in reality, you are playing with other musicians, and being able to feel those spaces between the beats is important for you to be able to synchronize with what they're doing. There's also a lot of research that suggests, well, there's a little bit of research that suggests that musicians in jazz groups actually synchronize to the upbeat rather than the downbeat. So perception of the upbeat is very important. A couple of things to be careful of with the slow metronome exercise. This thing, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Careful not to get too much of doing bada body bada ba sound corny swing feel. It's very easy to do with that exercise, so there's a little bit of a danger there. Okay. Other than that, the second exercise I got from the 80/20 drummer. So he plays different figures, but works very well for any jazz figures you can think of, with the metronome click on the 4th 16th note. And then there's the other exercise, the slower exercise, which I learned from a guitar teacher. And let me know what you think below. I think this is the kind of thing which you can do for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes a day for a long time, and it will slowly improve your sense of upbeat. It's a long process. It takes a while, but the more you do this, the more your perception will change, and the more of the more kind of space you'll feel between the beats, and the more attention you'll pay to the placement and execution of your rhythms in your playing, which has got to be a good thing. So thanks for watching. Bye.